pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ask Jason Stewart to lead us in prayer, please.
Bow your heads. So, Heavenly Father, we come before you this time, Lord. We thank you for this day, God. We thank you for the city of Trumann and all of its constituents, God. We pray, Lord, that you touch each and every one of the council people that will do business that's according to your will. And God, we ask you to keep your hand on our police, fire, safety, and our soldiers abroad. And we ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen.
All right, I will call the meeting to order by asking Mrs. Toddy for a roll call before you start, just so you know, Kara. I sent a text that she is on her way, she'll be here just any minute.
Ernie used to, he don't get off till 6, but he said he'll be quick as he can.
Cindy Wood,
Here.
Candida Robinson,
Here.
Billy Poe,
Here.
Jason Stewart,
Here.
John Paul Thompson,
Here.
Brandon Schrader,
Here.
Bonnie Winkles,
Here.
Brett Parker,
Here.
and Kara Roach and Ernie are on the way.
Okay, Kara's coming in the door. All right, we have a quorum, so I'll give Kara just a second to get up here. Do you have a copy of the minutes from the June meeting in your packet? I'll give you a minute to look over them, and I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Bonnie Winkles made a motion.
Second.
John Paul Thompson second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All right, financial reports also in your packet. Give you a minute to look over it.
Make a motion to approve.
Jason Stewart made a motion to approve.
Second.
Bonnie Winkle second. Any discussions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. All right, department reports. Chief Thomas?
We've had a couple big cases. Robberies, we had that before or after the last meeting, but just to let you know, it's not solved yet. We're working on it every day. We've got guys in CID and patrol. First half, we're putting 15, 16 hours a day. Polygraph test, interviews. We probably don't know how many people are Facebook, people just watch videos. Promise, the first day of that robbery, I watched more videos than most people watch in their life. I pulled up to the gas station in Walmart, I wanted to say that, they just let me in the door and I know how to operate the computer. Armed robbery at Smokes, we got lucky on it, made the arrest real fast. Both of those, I'm like, I wish we had a tracking dog, both of them left on foot. I think on the second one, the Smokes, I was on my way to Little Rock to the meeting. I think we may have borrowed a dog from Marjorie. Called Marjorie here. Vehicles, we've got 6 of the 7 new vehicles in, parked out here. The 7th one is in Little Rock, they done some damage on it, they were outfitting it, it's a dealership. First one is being outfitted in Jonesboro to have the cradle point put in, which gives it the Wi-Fi. We're supposed to do that tomorrow, and then the rest will follow after that. We're waiting on the radio folks to program our radios. If we get all that done, we'll have them operational, hopefully within a week. Personnel changes. Our part-time animal control officer, Alicia Pretty, which is Samantha's sister, she turned in her resignation. And when we talked to her, the reason Anyway, we advertised yesterday for that position, and we've already had 10 people put in for it, so we're starting interviews first of the week, because we're gonna have to get somebody hired fast. Everybody knows Samantha's pregnant. She's good old day. We had one officer resign, Officer Huddle. He lives in Lake City. He told us, he said, "I love my job here. He said, I love the department. I love the town. But what Lake City can offer him that we can't is a take-home car." He lives 14 point some odd miles from here. Our policy says 10, so we never would allow him to do that. As of right now, that's not a problem, because when I got the call he was resigning, I made a call and we hired somebody within 5 minutes. We're lucky here compared to some of our neighbors. We're not waiting for this officer to come to work, so I hired him right away. But that's something we may need to discuss in the future. I know we have a policy of 10 miles. I understand one. But if you look around Trumann, you can spot a car from Craig County, a car from Jonesboro, a couple of cars from Paragould, May. And we might want to look at, if we get in the bind where we're needing to get officers, we might want to try to expand that. Take Huddle, for instance, if he had a opportunity to go work at Trumann, Paragould, and want to go to both departments, Paragould says, "We need your car," and we'll be fine with Paragould. But like that, that's not a problem yet. Something I've done since I've been here is I've tried to introduce new employees. We've got 2 new officers I'm going to introduce. I don't know who's coming in here first. This is Nico.
Nico.
Nico's a funny dog. This is Reaper. He's a young dog, about 2 or 3 years old, is that right?
Yes, sir, it'll be 2 in September. 2 in September. He's still a puppy, got a lot of puppy.
And he's gonna be certified as of tomorrow. And he can track drugs, well, he's not about dog, correct?
Yes.
So, and Officer Carter actually is another new person. He's the one I called in 5 minutes here and told us leaving. He's worked there before, he's back, we're glad to have him back there.
He don't like that muzzle.
And to answer your question, this dog was donated to us, and it's no expense to the city or the department. These dogs cost anywhere from $8,000 to $15,000. We're very fortunate.
So sweet. Yeah. All right, we ready to go back in there.
Swimming here?
Yes, sir. Let me get.
So hopefully the next robbery we have, if we have none, one of these guys is gonna go out.
Hopefully we won't have another.
Yeah.
But in all honesty, that's today's world.
Okay, this is Nico. He's another donated dog, no expense to us, and I'll let Officer Trumann tell you about him.
This is K-9 Nico. He is trained in apprehension, building, searching, tracking, evidence, article recovery, and narcotics. He was donated also to us, so no cost to us. And he is a great dog. I've been training with him since May, I do believe is when I got him. And
We thought his certification was gonna be in September, but we found out this morning that, he's gonna get certified in about 2 weeks.
Where's he from?
like,
Where's he from?
like where he was imported from, he is like Belgian and German Shepherd.
The other one's Austrian, is that right?
Can't remember on those ones.
Chief, is this the one that could track, was a track, bite, and like had 2 or 3 different tracking dog and a biting
He
dog?
bites.
Yes.
Okay.
He has a great off switch and
Yeah.
on switch.
Well,
One thing about him is, all these K-9 officers compare their dogs to other guys.
yeah.
He can do something that no other dog is there to do. He can be in the middle of a bite, and the officer can call him off and he'll stop.
Right.
And the Jonesboro officers are all like, "No, he can't." Fleming tells me,
Well, yeah, I
Yes,
remember you
it
telling me,
really
I
was.
would hate to be on the other side of that. For sure.
Right here.
No thanks.
There you go. Out. No. And that right there is what you really want your canine to be able to come off of the lap. Because you're sitting there. There you go. I know, it's behind. They're sitting there and steadily biting the suspect. You got an officer sitting there, out. Does not look good. And so when you got a canine that come off a bite with maybe one out and maybe a command of no, if you don't listen the first time, that's what you want.
We got a video where he was in midair on a bite, and they called him off and he quit in midair.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is going to be a,
Something else he does that I understand other dogs can't do is you can put the suspect against the wall until you
Yes.
start him.
he will
Yes, sir.
escort,
Escort.
how you tell a suspect, walk across his parking lot to the building, put his hands on it. Nico will escort him, and I can stay on the other side of the parking lot. He'll, I can say guard, and then he's there until that suspect either moves, we take him into custody, anything like that. He's gonna be a great addition to the department. I mean, I know some canines make the ultimate sacrifice to make sure their handlers, other officers go home. So, you know, hopefully we never go to that route, but if it does, at least, we got something that help take care of our officers. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks, Zach.
That's all I've got.
Chief Kemper.
I don't have anything unless the council has questions about the report.
Chief, was that for, just for the month,
Yes.
the report?
Yes.
I didn't-
Where we come from. Yeah, so that was last month. It would have been June. We average about 100-ish calls a month. That was kind of a slow month, but it's picked up this month. So when I first started, we averaged about 300 calls a year. Now we get 300 by March, so we stay pretty busy. We do have the tornado siren grant, I think, later on, and
Yeah.
I can speak on that, but it's on the agenda for later. So, you know, the questions, I try to print that report as kind of self-explanatory to help you guys and girls understand kind of what it is. So you can say the majority of our calls are medical and public assist, which is a good thing, really.
You medically assist on Hatchkin Road?
Huh?
You guys respond to Hatchkin Road?
We do, yes.
You medically assist? So
Yes.
someone's having a heart attack, you guys go?
Yes.
Life-saving equipment, drugs?
Yes. Yes, we respond, typically in the county, we don't respond to with an engine on medical calls because it stays in the city. But yeah, our fire district itself is, it goes to county line on the Jonesboro side north, follows that to the Bay Ditch, then follows the Bay Ditch all the way to Old Weona. And then if you know where Cotton Road is, it follows Cotton Road all the way back to the river. So we've got a 90 square mile fire district, and we run all EMS in that district. This is, of course, the city's priority, but we do respond outside in the district.
Any other questions?
Thank you for providing these. It's great.
You're welcome. Good. And if you want anything different than that, I can do it too. That report, we're able to do a few things with it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Fagan.
We make this long walk and get up here to tell you that I don't have anything. Unless you've got questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
You're not mowing anything, are you?
Do what?
You're not mowing anything,
We're not
are you?
mowing anything, we're not fixing any leaks, we're not cleaning out lift stations.
Man.
We're not doing
You got
anything.
nothing going
I
on.
tell people all the time, I don't do nothing, so, good with that.
Do we have an update on our Clearwater tank as far as the projected
I think the
timeline?
mayor will take care of that in a little
Oh,
while.
okay.
Anything else? All right. No show and tell. Don't have a dog.
All right, Mr. Campbell is out of the country right now, but he, hold on, let me write this down. They have applied for a couple of more grants. They're in the process of applying for one of the grants we got last year. We'll apply for it again this year. The AEDC, CBG, I think is what it's called, block grant. They're gonna apply for that again, and they're working on another one, the COPS grant. They're fixing to start working on it and get it ready to be sent. Ms. Kelly?
Our department is doing great, even though we had a couple of months to slow down, to catch up with the grass and the mowing. It's been horrendous, but we're there. We do start our church league next month, August 10th. We have 9 teams that's in it this year, so we grew a team. If you're not busy on Monday nights and want some entertainment, church league is the best time to come out and watch these guys play. Tomorrow at 10 o'clock, I've got a meeting with Shannon Gainwell. I will be a base director for baseball and softball. It'll kind of broaden our horizon with more competitive league teams and travel teams here for tournaments. They've also asked me to help work the Nationals in Pensacola, Florida next year. So when the season's over, hopefully we can go down to Pensacola and do the World Series. So other than that, we're just gearing back up for church league, and after that we'll follow baseball or football and soccer and cheer and all the fun things. Anybody got any questions?
Thank you, ma'am. Good job. All right, committee reports. I don't think we have any actual reports, though. The budget committee met, we're going to discuss that on resolution. Ward reports.
I got one. I've had a couple people complain about, I went and looked at it. It's on, I think it's Bermuda. And they said they've called several times, but it is. On each end of Bermuda Way, there's 2 potholes they would like fixed. One of them, the one at Bermuda and Fox Run, is pretty deep. It needs to be fixed. The other one is on the other end by David Davis's house. It's still got Chad in it that it's throwing. He said when people turn around, it slings it in their yard. They just want it fixed. And then apparently they the way they explain it, they cut the road out to put a water line across somewhere. And they filled that in, but it's sunk again, and it's a big dip, and they don't know if there's anything they can do to fix that dip. Or
James, you want to speak on that?
I know it's on Bermuda, but I don't know which part of Bermuda.
Okay. I'm not familiar with them, but I'll check it out tomorrow. We've been trying to get ahead of the grass and stuff so we can spend some time on fixing potholes and street cuts and stuff. But to fix it for now, we will put Chad in it and get them level back out until we can get to it with the proper fix. It's just a matter of time and resources. So yeah, I'll make a note here. We'll check Bermuda Way tomorrow. We'll get at least get those taken care of on a still temporary basis, but we'll include it.
And the chat needs to go in and kind of settle in before they put asphalt in there, right?
Do what?
The chat needs to go in and settle in and get packed down before the asphalt is put in.
That's exactly right. Whenever we do a straight cut or fix it, we pack that back in and pack it as tight as we can, and then put Chad on it, and then let it rain on it and settle that down. So if you don't, and you come in and put the asphalt in, then eventually it'll give way under it, and the asphalt sinks, and then you've got an even bigger mess. And it takes longer for that stuff to pack down than what people realize that it does. But we're aware that we've got street cuts and holes in the roads all over town that we're absolutely going to try and get to.
Okay. The next thing is the lights, the decorative lights. They're wearing me out on it. The city pays the bill on the decorative lights. So who's responsible to replace the bulbs?
I've not been able to find anything, and we've researched it to find anything that shows those lights were ever dedicated to the city. This has been an ongoing thing, even prior to me coming in. It was an ongoing thing. Again, I've not been able to find those, way it was explained to me was, if they want a street light, Craig Electric will put a pole up and put a street light up, and they will maintain that street light.
They do, but they don't want the wooden poles
I
in that
understand that.
neighborhood.
I understand that.
And here's the deal, I physically went around to every pole myself and cut all the ballasts out of them and rewired them up to where they work straight with LED bulbs. So the only thing they have to replace is an LED bulb, $20 LED bulb at Lowe's. The city pays the bill, the light bill on it right now. Every light bill that comes through there, the city pays it. We just need to get something passed or get it somewhere where they take care of the lights. Because the neighbors want them, they want the lights working, but they don't want the wood poles.
But like I said, I know that, and James can answer this as well, I know that, what's been told to me more than once by several different people is that the city wouldn't take the lights, because of the issue that they have with getting the bulbs put in them, and that the decorative lights were put in there by the contractor that subdivided, developed it, yeah. And if we do that, if we start doing it at some point, this is what was told to me right after I started. If we start doing the decorative lights now, every time they build a subdivision, they're gonna put decorative lights in there, and then it's gonna add on, and add on, and add on to what the city has to take care of instead of creating electric. Now, you know, I don't have a vote in it. Whatever the council says is what we go with. And I'll let James, if he wants to expound on that a little bit.
Well, I'm going to expound to what I think that I remember reading. I'll have to go back and look. I've slept since then. But it seems like to me that it's covered in planning and zoning under somewhere in there that the decorative lights, if they're put in, they're the subdivision's responsibility, not the city's. And I think that's included in what we've already got in effect. So if, we need to research that and make sure that that's right if you want to go and change something. One of my problems with just change the bulbs, and I realize that's not a terrible bad deal, and probably we could, but in my mind, if you accept the responsibility to change the bulb, and somebody comes through there and knocks that pole over, then does that not make the city responsible for replacing it with a like-kind fixture? And that's not fair to everybody else across town that don't have the fancy little lights. I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing, it's a council decision.
Well, if somebody hits it, then their insurance should pay to replace that.
If they have.
Should.
If they've got any,
Yeah.
whatever, you know, I'm not trying to be negative about it.
No.
I'm trying to look at what else may come down the road.
And I may be completely wrong on this, but I was under the assumption, and you know what happens when you assume, that when you accept a city street, you accept all infrastructure within that street. But it may not be the case on that.
I think from what we have taken in and what we've accepted since I've been in office, it spelled out what all was in that we accepted. It wasn't just the street and everything goes with it. It's actually been spelled out of what we accept.
I kind of look at it as a HOA type deal, where you pay extra for those type things, and
And we don't,
if that's what you
we don't
want, then
enforce
that's
HOA,
what
we
they pay
can't
for.
enforce it.
Right.
The previous administration basically told my street that if you wanted the lights to work, you would reach out and have Craighead Electric come out and drop a pole.
Yeah.
You have Craighead Electric come out and drop a pole, and they dropped them right behind where those decorative lights were. And the folks that didn't want that pole in their yard didn't have to have a pole in their yard. But another reason for that is because the lighting fixtures that were put on my street are no longer available. The ballasts are no longer available, which means every time something changes, you gotta go and rewire, redo, and
Well, there is
That's
no
what-
ballast on your lights on your street,
Well,
because
I-
I cut them all out. I can tell you.
well, I mean, that goes back to the one that's right there, where,
Megan?
Lauren, where Lauren and, Harlow used to live.
Yep.
Between him and Jim Rob's house.
Yep.
the reason why that pole's there is because they wanted a light. And since the city was not gonna go out there and change those bulbs anymore, I can remember when Gary Anderson go out there and change those bulbs. And finally, the mayor said, no, we can't do it anymore, and I think it's fixing to cite what James is fixing to read.
Brenda's looked this up and handed it to me. Section 3.09, streetlights. Streetlights shall be installed in all new subdivisions containing 5 acres or more, and the owner subdivider should make arrangements with the local power company for such installation. Installation of decorative poles shall require establishment and maintenance by an improvement district.
So that goes back to your HOA.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Sorry I couldn't pull that.
You read it pretty good. I'm good.
I don't have a ward report per se, but I have had a couple of different phone calls about kids riding golf carts to practice down West Main to the high school because they don't go the speed limit. And also of people riding dirt bikes through Cedar Park. Multiple calls on that one.
Well, now, some of those dirt bikes that look like dirt bikes, that people are calling dirt bikes, and I'm not gonna say it but they're e-bikes. And they look exactly like a dirt bike, and they are fast. I'm talking about fast.
And I'll say this, as far as the golf carts go, we tried to pass an ordinance, I don't know how long ago, and it failed by law. Now, they're running illegal. By law, if they're on a city street, they can ride.
Right.
But West Main is a state highway.
Correct.
And they cannot be on state highway, so if they get caught, they can be cited. You know, if they wanna call the police department, if they're not there to see them, and Chief Thomas, I can see right now, he's making notes, so he will make sure to take that to their officers to be watching for that.
Yeah, because that's dangerous. I mean, it's
Very
not
dangerous. Very dangerous.
the golf cart, it's just that that's dangerous.
Well, the deal is
Not
too,
going.
to get there to the gym, and I know where they're going,
Yeah.
there's a
you do.
maintained sidewalk there that they can ride on to keep off of the city street.
Yeah, and they're not. And they're also coming from this side of Main Street and riding all the way, golf carts all the way down. That's a long way. That was all.
Okay, I have one, it's not a ward report from anybody, I guess it's my ward, but there is it's about grass. That's about like up to your waist. But I tried to call Gary and he's on vacation. But what do we do, like this gentleman has passed?
Yeah, I'm working on that right now.
You know which one I'm talking about? It's by
Right down the road.
Holly and them's old lot. Yeah, I didn't know that had happened and
I
it's
didn't know
looking
that he
really bad.
passed, and I found out
Yeah.
yesterday who it was.
Okay.
And who the family is. And
Okay.
and kind of contacted them to find out what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
You know, that something's gotta happen, but now.
I mean-
if it's probate, I mean, it may wind up that we have to go mow it and send the bill to the estate, I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, my husband may mow it before long.
But, yeah, I caught that yesterday, and that and a few more.
Okay.
So. Anybody else? All right, unfinished business. Resolution number 1348 was approved last meeting to accept the bid from Advanced Electric to replace the licensed sports complex. I got the resolution corrected with Advanced Electric's information, and Ms. Toddy, if she'll read the resolution.
A resolution accepting the bid from Advanced Electric Company Incorporated for the purchase and installation of LED lighting at the Trumann Sports Complex, declaring funding sources and other purposes. Whereas the City of Trumann solicited bids for the replacement of lighting at the Trumann Sports Complex, and whereas Advanced Electric Company Incorporated submitted a bid in the total amount of $454,000, and whereas said bid includes the furnishing and installation of 112 TLC LED 550, TLC BT 575, TLC LED 1200 and TLC LED 900 Musco lighting fixtures, together with a 25-year parts and labor warranty. And whereas the project will be funded in part by an Energy Efficiency and Conservation Block Grant, EECBG, in the amount of $250,000, with the remaining $204,000 to be paid by the City of Trumann. And whereas Advanced Electric Company has certified compliance with the Davis-Bacon Act as required by the grant, and whereas the City Council has determined that the bid submitted by Advanced Electric Incorporated is the best bid, and that acceptance of said bid is in the best interest of the City of Trumann. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Trumann, Arkansas, Section 1, the bid submitted by Advanced Electric Company Incorporated in the amount of $454,000 is hereby accepted. Section 2, the mayor is hereby authorized to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate this project. Section 3, funding for said project shall consist of $250,000 from EECBG federal grant, with the remaining $204,000 to be paid by the City of Trumann. Section 4, Advanced Electric Company Incorporated shall comply with all applicable federal, state, and local laws, including the Davis-Bacon Act. Section 5, this resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and approval.
Do we hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
John Paul Thompson made a motion.
Second.
Bonnie Winkle, second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed with no.
No.
Carol Roach votes no. All right. Next is resolution number 1349, which was also approved last meeting with some amendments. Those amendments are reflected in this resolution. Ms. Toddy, would you read resolution 1349, please?
A resolution to provide that retired elected full-time officials of the City of Trumann shall receive the same cost of living adjustment, COLA, increases approved for active city employees and other purposes. Whereas the City Council of the City of Trumann recognizes the years of dedicated service provided by retired elected full-time officials of the city, and whereas the City Council desires to ensure that retired elected full-time officials continue to receive equitable consideration regarding increases in the cost of living, and whereas the City Council finds it to be in the best interest of the City of Trumann to provide that retired elected full-time officials shall receive the same annual cost of living adjustment, COLA, increases approved by the City Council for active city employees. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Trumann, Arkansas, Section 1, any retired elected full-time official of the City of Trumann currently receiving retirement benefits from the city shall receive the same annual cost of living adjustment, COLA, increase approved by the City Council for active city employees. Section 2, said COLA increase shall become effective at the same time as the COLA increase approved for active city employees. Section 3, the city clerk, treasurer, and all other appropriate officials of the city are hereby authorized and directed to take all actions necessary to carry out the intent of this resolution. Section 4, this resolution shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and approval.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
John Paul Thompson made a motion.
Second.
Brandon Schrader, second. Any discussion?
Yes, I do. Because I was a little confused on this, and I've asked around, I talked to Carrie and got some information on the retirement stuff and how we do it. I know that you have your retirement through APERS, right? And typically, the way I understand it, and Brandon can tell me something different because of Jonesboro, I'm not sure. But when you retire, I mean, you don't get a cost of living raise. I'm not saying I'm against for Miss Marlene. I'm just saying, like, when I retire from my company, they're not going to continue, if they give their employees a cost of living raise, to give me one. Do you see what I'm saying? And now when you have Social Security, yes. I know the military gets a cost of living raise, and they don't put any money into their funding for it. I don't know if you put money into yours, right? And we match. Okay. So with this, and I know it was a long time ago and it was way before probably, I mean, you may know something. Did she put any money into? So this is just something, and I know there's a statute here that says after you have, 10 years, we can do this, but like, I'm just thinking for future, if we have somebody that comes in that's an elected official and say they work from 20 to 30 years old, that's 10 years they have, and then we're gonna pay them half of their monthly salary, okay? We're gonna do that for 40 years? I mean, there may be more people, how can you sustain that? I talked to the mayor in Blytheville because I kinda wanted to know what they did, because I'm not saying I don't know that I'm right, I'm just kinda was confused about it, because I'm like, I know I wouldn't get that. And she said, well, there's no way we could sustain that, but she said there is the statute, we've just not ever had anybody ask for it. So, I don't know, I'm just kinda putting it out there to see what some of your thoughts are. I feel like that we need to reevaluate this for future, like anybody that is getting retirement, to have some kind of funding, so when they're done, the city is not continuing to pay, them. I don't mean that in a mean way, I don't
I
know.
don't think it was ever rolled up like that, because Dad told me back in the day, they had about 4 that were drawing it at one point, and that comes straight off the top.
Yeah, it's a
He
lot.
said it's hard to do it, but that's the way it's rolled.
I mean, I've done the numbers, I don't know if anybody's looked, but,
I mean, that's not a local statute, that's state statute.
That's
Yeah.
The state statute allows.
It does allow-
Don't require COLA, it allows.
no, it allows it if you want to, but I just don't feel like that the city should have it set up this way in the first place, even though it was. I feel like for the future, we should look at maybe getting them, I don't know if they could get into APRS, and I don't know how many people we're talking about, officials. I guess it would be like the clerk,
Right now, there's 2.
So there's just, yeah,
So
But-
elected officials that would be on that would be, they have to be elected, so it'd be the city clerk and it'd be the mayor. What used to piggyback off of it was the court clerk, which I don't think that's part of it. I think they're actually on papers now. And so, at one time, we had there were 3 or 4 that were on when I first came on, and Judge Wilson was one of them. Then you also had, there wasn't a mayor at the time. Ms. Bullock was on there. Who else? Who else was it? There was one more person on there that was outside the court system. It was only 2 elected officials. You have to serve at least 10 years.
right.
As the elected official.
Mhm.
And the last 4 mayors have only served 2 terms, so they're at 8 years, so they're not on
weren't eligible.
I think there was one of the mayors, one of those, I can't remember which mayor it was, but he was drawn, but that was back when the mayor's salary itself was a part-time mayor still.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these folks, their salary isn't that great, or isn't that large, I should
Right.
say.
Well, I mean, hers is, made 46,000, it's
Yeah.
23,000,
So after she left,
A year.
that position that she has, the treasurer clerk, was split.
right.
So you had the city clerk, you got the city treasurer, and then you got Carrie's job, which is take up some of those responsibilities as well. So, yeah, it's something that, you have to go by state statute when it comes to that. And moving forward, most of those positions aren't, positions that the salary would be that overwhelming, I don't think. That's just my thought.
No, I agree.
Today, I would say you're right. 10 years from now, you may not be.
But you're right, I mean, 10 years from
But
now, we
they
could
have
have,
to readdress it too.
15 to 20 years from now, we could have 2 mayors on there, and at the current mayor's salary, would that be, I mean, that's gonna be like having to pay 2 mayors.
I mean, if
Go
we
half and
had,
half.
if we had 5, that's $100,000 we're paying a year to somebody. I mean, that, like I said, it could be way down the road, but,
Well, you gotta think the past 4 mayors that they enter back in, they only like 1 more term and they're elected. But it's the way the state reads it.
I don't think it'd be the past 4. Of course, Barbara's gone. but
Right.
It would be Ronnie on serve 1 term. didn't he?
Correct.
right.
Yeah.
Did Coggins, did he have?
Coggins.
He has 2 terms,
Yeah.
but I think he's gone.
Yes.
Yes, I think he is.
Yeah,
thought
yeah, yeah.
so really Sheila would be the only one.
Only one.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't matter on mine because I'm doing APRS anyway.
Right.
And I wouldn't be able to receive two retirements.
So it's not that we can't, I mean, we can switch the way in the future if we wanted someone to go through a funding program instead of the,
Well, I think-
and maybe we could,
I think it would ultimately wind up being if the mayor or those folks decided to run their retirement through APRS. 'Cause
Yeah.
Like Jay said, I mean, if they decide not to do an APRS retirement, then the city has to fulfill as long as they hit their.
like we match so much, I mean, we would have to match so much, but once they're retired, we're done. We don't have to keep paying money.
And let me tell you this to think about as well. There's proposed legislation to change it from 10 years to 8 years and make it, if the 8 years won't be the full half, it'd be like 40% or something like that, 30%.
Mhm.
But the reason that it's explained to me, the reason they're wanting to pass that is because when the 10 years was passed by legislature, it was mayors with 2-year terms. And so they could serve 5 2-year terms and add 10 years. And now they're 4-year terms, so they have to serve 3 terms, 12 years, just to get 10 years retirement. So they're pushing that to go through legislation. If it passes or not, who knows? I mean, but it's not going to affect me, but it might affect others. But that's something to think about. It may go to 8 instead of 10. And that would include clerks and the city clerk as well. So, it's something.
So really, it's
Think
not
about.
something that we would really look at until we have a new employee. I guess a new elected official at this point that's full-time?
Essentially, yeah.
Okay.
Anybody else? All right, the first and second, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed with no?
No.
No.
Aye. Roll call vote, please, Ms. Toddy, because I didn't catch y'all.
Sorry.
Okay. Cindy Wood.
No.
Candida Robinson.
4.
Kara Roach.
No.
Billy Poe.
4.
Jason Stewart.
4.
John Paul Thompson.
4.
Ernie Link is absent. Brandon Schrader.
4.
Bonnie Winkles.
No.
Brett Parker.
4. That's 6 to 3. Ernie counts as a no, so it'll be 6 to 4.
Yep.
And it's gotta be, I'm not sure if that's a majority or 2/3.
It's a resolution. It's got
It's just a majority, right? So that's all it takes is 6 to pass it. All right, so that will pass. All right, next up is in new business, resolution number 1351 is first up on the new business. In 2017, a cleanup lien was filed at the clerk's office for 340 Holly Street. This lien was not filed at the tax collector's office. Due to it not being filed in the tax collector's office, it allows us a little bit of leeway in settling the lien. Prospective Properties LLC purchased that property a while back. The title company did not catch the lien. Prospective has recently worked a deal to sell the property to Daniel Huey, who intends to build a house on the property. Mr. Huey's title company found the lien and reported it, and to make the sale go through, Prospective Properties asked if they could pay $2,000 to clear the lien, and I talked to Mr. Gasaway about it, and he said because it did not go to the tax collector, we do have the leeway, we can bargain. And I asked them if they would do $2,400, which is a little over half of the lien, and they agreed, and with the approval of the council, the property will be sold to Mr. Huey, and he will build a house on that property, which will in turn raise the property taxes, and it'll also clean up the lot. With the house on there, we're gonna get more money out of it than it just being an empty lot sitting there. So with that, I'm gonna ask Mrs. Toddy if she would read the resolution, please.
A resolution authorizing the release of a municipal cleanup lien against property located at 340 Olive Street, Trumann, Arkansas, parcel number 555-01448-000, upon payment of a negotiated settlement amount and for other purposes. Whereas on February 17, 2017, the City Council of the City of Trumann authorized a cleanup lien against property located at 340 Holly Street, Trumann, Arkansas, parcel number 555-01448-000 for cost incurred by the city in abating nuisance conditions upon said property. And whereas the total amount of the cleanup lien was $4,243.41, and whereas said lien was properly filed with the Poinsett County Circuit Clerk's Office but was not filed with the Poinsett County Tax Collector's Office. And whereas because the lien was not filed with the Tax Collector's Office, the city is authorized to negotiate a settlement amount in exchange for a release of the lien. And whereas the property has since been acquired by Perspective Properties LLC, represented by Christian Smith, who was not the owner of the property at the time the lien was originally imposed. And whereas Mayor J. Paul Woods has negotiated a settlement with Perspective Properties LLC, whereby the company agrees to pay the City of Trumann the sum of $2,400 in exchange for a full release and satisfaction of the cleanup lien. And whereas the City Council finds that acceptance of the negotiated settlement is in the best interest of the city because it will result in immediate recovery of a substantial portion of the lien amount and will facilitate redevelopment and improvement of the property, thereby benefiting the community and enhancing the tax base of the city. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Trumann, Arkansas, Section 1, the City Council hereby approves the negotiated settlement of the cleanup lien filed against property located at 340 Holly Street, Trumann, Arkansas, parcel number 555-01448-000. Section 2, upon receipt of payment in the amount of $2,400 from Perspective Properties LLC, the mayor and the city clerk are authorized and directed to execute all documents necessary to release and satisfy the cleanup lien filed with the Poinsett County Circuit Clerk's Office. Section 3, the city clerk is authorized to record and file the appropriate lien release documents with Poinsett County Circuit Clerk and any other office deemed necessary to evidence the satisfaction and release of the lien. Section 4, this resolution shall be in full force and effect immediately upon its adoption.
All right, do we hear a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
John Paul Thompson made a motion.
I'll second.
Jason Stewart, a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed with no. All right, next up is resolution number 1352. This is the other side of the coin. On April the 8th of 2026, the city raised the property at 832 Ellis after it was condemned by the council. The owner of the property, Donald Trentham, is deceased, and the cleanup bill was sent certified mail to Doug Trentham, the son of Donald. Doug has been paying the taxes on the property and keeping them current. Doug refused the certified letter that was sent. Now we're asking that a perfected lien be placed on the property and filed with the clerk's office and the tax collector's office. The bill, as well as proof of tax payment by Doug Trentham, is attached to the resolution. Mrs. Toddy, would you read the resolution, please?
A resolution approving the perfecting of a cleanup lien on the property located at 832 Ellis Street, Trumann, Arkansas, pursuant to Arkansas Code annotated 14-54-903. Whereas the property located at 832 Ellis Street, Trumann, Arkansas, was condemned by the Trumann City Council in accordance with the applicable law, and whereas on April 8, 2026, the City of Trumann Public Works Department raised the condemned structure located on said property, and whereas an invoice for the cost of demolition and cleanup was sent via certified mail on June 9, 2026, to the registered owner of the property, Mr. Donald Trentham, and the mailing was refused. And whereas it has been noted that the recorded owner, Donald Trentham, is deceased, but property taxes have been maintained and kept current by Mr. Doug Trentham, the son of the recorded owner. And whereas no payment or response to the invoice has been received within the 30-day period allowed for payment. And whereas pursuant to Arkansas Code annotated 14-54-903, the City of Trumann is authorized to file and perfect a lien on real property for the cost incurred in removing, raising, or cleaning up structures or property, and to attach said lien to the property's tax statement. And whereas failure to pay such lien within the time frame set forth by state law may result in foreclosure proceedings on the property. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Trumann, Arkansas, Section 1, the City Council hereby approves the perfecting of a cleanup lien on the property located at 832 Ellis Street, Trumann, Arkansas, for the costs incurred in raising the condemned structure and cleaning up the property, $3,244.77, in accordance with Arkansas Code annotated 14-54-903. Section 2, said lien shall be attached to the property's tax statement and collected as provided by law. Section 3, the property representative is advised that failure to pay the lien within the allotted time as prescribed by Arkansas law may result in foreclosure proceedings on the property.
All right, do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
I'll second.
Bonnie Winkles made the motion, John Paul Thompson second. Any discussion? Is Doug Trentham here? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. I'll get that filed tomorrow. All right, each year in July, we do a budget reconciliation just to update the budget current situation. The budget reconciliation has gone through and been recommended by the Finance Committee and is resolution number 1353. Mr. Stewart, you're the chairman of the Finance Committee. Would you like to speak on this, or you want to just read it?
This is a normal thing that happens every year, and just to make sure that the budget is always a working, flowing document, it's a living document, so you want to make sure you stay up on top of where you're at, what you're doing, and if you've got expenditures in one spot and you're not expending in another spot, you want to make sure you allocate your money correctly. So that's what this document's going to show you.
Ms. Toddy, would you read resolution number 1353, please?
A resolution amending the budget for the City of Trumann, Arkansas for the 6 months beginning January 1st, 2026 and ending June 30th, 2025, appropriating money for each item on expenditure therein provided for and for other purposes.
Hold on, that should be 2026. June 30th, 2026.
I'm sorry, that's what it says. June 30th, 2026, appropriating money for each item on expenditure therein provided for and for other purposes. Section 1, revenues and expenditures of municipal budget resolution number 1308 is that supposed to be the 26th?
Yes, no, 25.
Okay. 1308-2025 to hereby amend the City of Trumann 2026 budget incorporated herein as if set out word for word and figure for figure, reflecting salaries of all city employees and reflecting revenues and expenditures as set forth on succeeding pages. City of Trumann 2026 budget. General fund revenues is $8,350,800. Appropriations $5,875,860. General fund 2 revenues is $212,400. Appropriations $210,000. Street fund revenues $871,250. Appropriations $869,350. TPD equitable sharing revenues $5,038. Appropriations $5,000. Capital equipment revenues $231,660. Appropriations $180,000. Disaster fund revenues $51,100. Appropriations $45,050. TIDC revenues $988,859. Appropriations $988,857. Special enforcement revenues $15,000. Appropriations $15,000. Trumann Water revenues $2,916,000. Appropriations $2,802,939. Act 833 revenues $95,000. Appropriation $95,000. TWW bond revenues $63,450. Appropriations $63,450. TWW infrastructure revenues $543,000. Appropriations $470,000. And the total for revenues is $14,343,557. Appropriations $11,620,506. Section 2, all resolutions and parts of resolutions in conflict wherewith are hereby repealed to the extent of such conflict.
All right, do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve.
Carol Roach made the motion.
No, it was Cindy.
Oh, was that Sandy? I'm sorry. I was just here, I didn't see. Jason Stewart, second. Any discussions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Resolution number 1354 is next. I spoke with Drainage District number 7 last week about the section of ditch 32 that is in the city limits of Trumann, and got approval for us to clean the ditch, as well as the ditch that runs from Ozark there at Speedway to ditch 32 at 69 Highway. This resolution would allow us to bid out the cleaning of those two ditches. Ditch 32 is one of the main ditches that helps to carry water out of the city on the north end of town. Just kind of go with that. The ditches that belong to Drainage District 7, we can't mess with them unless they give us approval to. Or we could get in trouble. Same way with the ditches that belong to the Corps of Engineers. So with that, I'm going to ask Ms. Toddy if she would read Resolution 1354.
A resolution authorizing the city of Trumann to solicit bids for the cleaning and clearing of certain municipal drainage ditches, authorizing the mayor to accept the lowest reasonable bid for one or both projects and for other purposes. Whereas certain drainage ditches are essential to the proper drainage and flood prevention efforts within the city limits, with the ditches themselves being fully or partially outside the city limits and normally maintained by Drainage District number 7. And whereas ditch 32, extending from the end of Christie Street to State Highway 69, and the drainage ditch extending from Ozark Avenue to ditch 32 at State Highway 69 are major drainage ditches serving the city of Trumann but maintained by Drainage District number 7. And whereas said drainage ditches have become heavily overgrown and obstructed by vegetative debris, beaver dams, and other materials which impede proper water flow and drainage, and whereas the city council finds that it is necessary and in the best interest of the city and its residents to clean and clear said drainage ditches in order to maintain proper drainage and reduce the risk of flooding and property damage, and whereas the city council desires to authorize the solicitation of bids for the cleaning and clearing of one or both drainage ditch projects, and further authorize the mayor to accept the lowest reasonable bid received. Now therefore be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Trumann, Arkansas. Section 1, the City Council hereby authorizes the City of Trumann to solicit bids for the cleaning and clearing of the following drainage ditch projects. A, ditch 32 from the end of Christie Street to Highway 69, approximately 1.2 miles. And B, the drainage ditch extending from Ozark Avenue to ditch 32 at State Highway 69, approximately 0.7 miles. 354. Section 2, the mayor is hereby authorized to review and accept the lowest reasonable bid submitted for one or both of the above described projects, subject to available funding and the best interest of the city. Sections 3, the mayor and city clerk are further authorized to execute any documents necessary to carry out the intent of this resolution. Section 4, this resolution shall be in full force and effect immediately upon its adoption.
All right, before we go further with that, I want to make a request that we amend that from Christie Street to Whitlatch. That's what it should have been, was Whitlatch instead of Christie. I get a motion to amend that.
Motion.
Brandon Schrader made a motion.
I'll second.
Bonnie Winkle second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. That will be changed to Whitlatch. Now, I need a motion and a second to approve this resolution.
Make a motion.
Cindy Wood made a motion.
Second.
Candida Robinson second. Any discussion?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So if it's going from Christie Street to Whitlatch Street, that's no longer
No,
1.2 miles.
No, it's Whitlatch Street to State Highway 69. Taking out Christie and putting Whitlatch in.
Okay. I thought it was going from Christie Street to Whitlatch, and she said that is
Yeah.
not 1.2 miles.
It's going from the end, it should read, extending from the end of Whitlatch Street to State Highway 69.
Is this the ditch that's on the north end of Whitlatch
Yes,
that runs to the backside of Roaches?
yep, yes. But from Whitlatch to Roaches, it's clean. Crystal clear.
So where are we talking about?
From Wet Latch to the railroad track, on the other side of the railroad track, running down Ann Street, all the way over 69 highway.
Do we know the majority of what's in there? Is it more beaver dams? Is it tires, junk, vegetation?
It's mainly vegetation. There's some fallen trees, there are some beaver dams along through there. There will be some debris, I'm sure some tires, but this would include cleaning it, completely cleaning it out.
If we were to have somebody come in and clean everything out like it should be, do we have the equipment to go back in? Because I know a few things about beavers, and they're
We
some
have
working son of a
equipment
guns.
to do, we have equipment to do some, and I'll say this, that we are applying for a grant to hopefully get us a bigger excavator so we can keep the beaver dams clean.
Yeah.
That's a problem we have in all of the ditches around here.
Yeah.
We would go out, ditch 12, ditch 14, ditch all of them, and at least pull the beaver dams out to allow the water to go through if we had the equipment to do it, but we just don't have the equipment. We have torn out several, I don't know how many, I know on ditch 12, I think we took out 3 or 4 ourselves, but that was even a chore because the small excavator we got, we had to kind of dig a ramp down to it to get to it. So, but we are applying for a grant to get an excavator big enough to do that.
The only feedback I'm hearing is, when we got rid of sanitation, the reason we did was so the city guys could clean the ditches. So is this something our city employees cannot do?
This is, again, those ditches belong to Drainage District 7.
Yeah.
So we have to have their approval to do that. And we don't have the equipment, like I was just telling Brandon, to do those ditches, those particular ditches, because they are so deep and so wide. And we are cleaning a lot of the ditches out. Some of the ditches don't belong to us.
Is there any kind of funds available at the drainage district or the Corps that they can give us to do that?
Here's the thing with them, the Drainage District they have bidded out, and I'll tell this at the end, but they're bidding out several ditches, already bidded out several of them south of us to be cleaned. They're gonna bid out ditch 14, which is north of us. They have over 300 miles of ditches to keep clean, and they wanna have one excavator doing it, and the guy that run it has retired now. So they're actually bidding it out, and they did get some money. Now, if we wanna skip this and just wait, we can wait and wait and wait and hope that they get to us. But it hadn't been done in the last, well, some of the farmers that we met with said that they don't ever remember being cleaned out.
Yes.
So,
Now, that's close from there, and it goes along the railroad track.
so, I mean, we can clean it out, or we can wait and let Drainage District hopefully clean it out.
Regardless of the bid, I mean, it's still gotta come back to us anyways, right? The bid, if we're taking bids to accept the bid, unless it's a,
No, this is giving us permission to take the lowest bid if we've got the money. We've got $45,000 in the drainage fund that's set aside for that.
So my question is, and James will probably know this better than anybody, if we clean out those ditches, and they're clean and slick, and water starts flowing, is the other end where we stop cleaning gonna be a dam per se, and it start backing up again, or is it gonna be clear from there on out?
no, he's just going.
Cause it doesn't do us any good to clean a ditch.
Well,
If we're gonna clean our side, and then at the end it's still backed up,
Yeah.
it's still gonna,
well, it will. It's not backing up per se, it's just slowing down. And according to Drainage District 7, their plans are to get these ditches clean. Now, they are also, in my section here, they are talking to several farmers that are willing to help clean some of these ditches out. So we'll see how far that goes and how much of it they get done. And the farmers have even said if they are on the ditches, they own property there, they're farming property there, they will stretch the boom out there and spray it if they can. If they got trees all the way lined down through it, they can't, there's nothing they can do. So that's a work in progress that we're also discussing. We're gonna have another meeting about that. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed with no. Next up is resolution number 1355. We received a grant that will pay $98,425,000 towards the purchase of new tornado sirens. 3 of our sirens burned out during the storm last year. Our remaining 3 sirens are 20 or more years old. If we replace just the 3 sirens, they would act independent of other sirens. With this grant, we can replace all 6 sirens with updated equipment at an affordable cost. There are 2 resolutions in the packet, one for Alertus and one from ATI. We had to put these out for bid by the grant requirements, because the state of Arkansas says anything over $75,000 has to be bid out. And so we have to follow that requirement. We first got the estimates. They were all over $75,000, so we had to go back to the drawing board and we had to bid it. So they were bid out according to the grant requirements, and one for Alertus and one for ATI. Alertus will come in with a 7-year warranty, and the ATI will come with a 1-year warranty. Alertus was recommended by the fire department, East Arkansas Planning Development District, and myself due to the 7-year warranty. Ms. Toddy, would you read the resolution, please? Well, I say we can't read it until we make a discussion, because we got to discuss which one we want to go with, if we want to go with it.
I got a question.
Okay.
The current tornado sirens we have, what brand are those? Are those? Is that company out?
It's on a fire truck or a mechanical siren. It's actually got a mechanical device that moves and spins, and that's what makes your noise, like an air raid siren. And they also rotate. So there's a lot of maintenance with them. They're down a lot. They're older. They're also more expensive. But yeah, the current system's American Signal and Century Siren. And the 3 that burn up were the 2 brand new ones for whatever reason, and 1 old one. And 20 years old is probably not close to how old they really are. They're probably closer to 30, 40 years old. They were before my time. I've been here 17 years. And they were old when I started. But yeah, it's American Signal is what we have now. And you can see their bid. That's their lowest bid that we have on there. They had another one that was higher to replace the current sirens with basically the same sirens that are there. Or Federal Signal, I say American Signal, Federal Signal.
Federals,
Yeah.
yeah, 208,000.
And the difference in these speakers, it's the sirens that we're looking at here. What we have currently is the mechanical sirens that spin and rotate. There's no battery backup. You got power, they work. If you don't, they don't. We had that problem when we had the tornado. Some of the sirens work. The 2 new ones were battery backup and 1 old one, so 3 of the sirens work. But as soon as the tornado took the grid out, the rest of the sirens quit. This system here is not mechanical. It's essentially the same thing we have on the police cars, the fire trucks. It's a actual sound siren system with large speakers. So you can do voice, you can do audio tone, you can do actual siren sounds, you can make announcements on it if you want to.
And these also can be set up to where if the National Weather Service issues a tornado warning, it
Yes.
can automatically go across that.
Yeah, these are significantly better than what we have. And the technology difference is big time to me. And they're 7-year warranty. They're all going to be brand new. The decibel level, just to give you an idea, it's supposed to be 80 to 90 decibels all the way to the river. 80 to 90 decibels is like a lawnmower running, basically. Your iPhone alarm clock's like 70 or 80 decibels. So they're pretty loud. They are made to hear it outside. You got to remind people sometimes when they call us, like they're not really made to hear inside of a brand new airtight home with the TV and the kids running around. But these sirens are going to be pretty loud. And it's a lot of redundancies. Battery backup, AC and DC power, so you got the battery backup. You can operate it you can turn it on with a cell phone. Dispatch will have the ability to turn it on. It has emergency shut off, shut on. They remotely test them every week, a silent test to make sure the system's running. So it's leaps and bounds better than what we currently have.
So what is this on the 3,325 for antennas if they can't
Yeah,
use the
so
ones we
they had a
have?
bunch of questions for me. And one of the questions was, will the antennas be compatible? I was like, I don't know. I don't know what antennas you use, but there's antennas there. So essentially, these sirens use our current radio system, or actually it's our old system, to set them off, if you will. We page them out like you would for a fire, and that's what activates the siren system. So they have an actual mobile radio like you'd have in a fire truck or a police car, and then it has an antenna attached. So essentially, they're just asking if that antenna would be compatible with their system. I don't know. I told them I would put it in there because if it's not.
And if our antenna is compatible, then take it.
That's what I was asking, the money.
Yeah, I told them just to add it because
Yeah.
I would rather have the total number than to get hit with an expense later.
That would be off the 60,000, the cost to us?
Yes.
Okay.
How
Also,
old are our antennas that are there now?
The which ones?
The antennas that are there now,
Oh,
are they very old?
I mean, old as this, yeah, old as the,
Would it not be better with a whole new system, put all new
Yeah.
antennas?
I would think so. You would have less problems.
I mean, we're only looking at $3,000, correct?
Yeah, and that's the antenna and the wire running to it too, so.
I say scratch the old and put all brand, if you're going a
it
whole
makes more
brand new
sense to do
system,
that.
Yeah, it does.
put all brand new there. That way we know from the start, we got all brand new.
We just wanted to make sure the options were there.
Yeah.
It is, and it's a lot safer. This system, I was really surprised at how cheap it was. When we first got this, I didn't even look, I seen one of the bids before this was essentially double everybody else's bid, but I didn't even look that they were replacing the entire siren system. I thought it was that much for 3 of them. And then the mayor's actually the one that read through it and looked at it. I just threw it back to the side because it was so much higher. And then it was actually replacing the entire infrastructure. And I thought, well, I'm glad he did his due diligence there because I didn't even notice that more.
Another thing we're talking about also is the 3 operable sirens. I have talked to the county a little bit. They're interested in possibly purchasing those sirens and putting them out in the county somewhere in populated areas. So we could recover a little bit of money off of that, even though they're 20-something years old. A 20-year-old siren is better than no siren. And so if they're interested in buying those and y'all are good with it, then that would help recoup some of that money.
And this system's expandable too, so if they have mobile units, if we wanted, we were talking about at the 4th of July thing, you can buy a mobile unit to put where one goes out, or use at events to use as like a loudspeaker, like the Duck Festival and things like that, which Duck Festival's gonna have one out there, so, maybe not this year, but next year you'll be able to use it as an announcement device.
And again, 3 or 4, 5, 10 years down the road, if we wanted to buy a portable system on a trailer, we could do that. I don't know the cost of it, but that is an option.
I'll say the 7-year.
I have a
Paul made a motion
question.
to alert us.
Sorry, I have a question.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's probably a dumb question. Okay, you lose power, you lose cell service. What runs them?
So it's battery, so it's AC is.
How do you alert it though, if you've lost cell service and power?
It's operated by the radio system here, so we have a generator and stuff here would power this system.
Okay.
And then that system would already be powered, so you would be able to hit it. It's also can be, this system can be powered through IP, so it could also be powered through like a cell phone.
Okay.
Or over the internet, if you will. That's what makes it, the redundancy in the system so much better. And I can't remember what he said, it's an NFPA number, but if we lose power for an extended time, what was it, 7 days maybe, or?
5 days.
5 days, it's got 5 days of continuous runtime on that battery. And at the 5th day, it's supposed to operate for like 45 minutes. So if we lost power completely for a week, those systems would still work for, essentially 5 days.
Okay.
And they don't have a, run it for 30 minutes, turn it off, run it for 30, it can run continuously.
Yeah, so
no matter how long.
that's the issue we run into this
That's
other
what we're
system.
up for other 3.
The mechanical sirens are made to run for 45 minutes in about a 4-hour span, so you typically run them in a 5-minute interval, give it a little break, 5-minute interval, and use that over time. We had 20-something tornadoes in just in a couple hours, so they ran continuously, and that's what caused the price. They burn them up. They're not designed for that.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right, John Paul made the motion to go with Alertus.
Second.
Bonnie Winkle second. Any other discussion? All right, Ms. Dottie, would you read the resolution for Alertus, please?
A resolution approving the acceptance of a bid from Alertus for the purchase and installation of 6 tornado warning sirens, authorizing payment of the city's portion of the project cost, authorizing the sale of certain existing sirens, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to execute necessary documents and contracts, and for other purposes. Whereas the city of Trumann has determined that improvements and replacement of portions of the city's tornado warning siren system are necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of its residents, and whereas 3 existing tornado sirens were damaged and burned out during a recent storm system, and 3 additional sirens currently in service are more than 20 years old and in need of replacement. And whereas the city solicited bids for the purchase and installation of 6 tornado warning sirens, and whereas Alertus submitted the lowest and most reasonable bid in the total amount of $158,777, and whereas the Arkansas Economic Development Commission, AEDC, has approved grant funding in the amount of $98,425 toward the purchase of the sirens, and whereas the remaining amount of $60,352 shall be paid by the city of Trumann, and whereas the new sirens include a 7-year parts and warranty, and whereas the city council finds that acceptance of the Alertus bid is in the best interest of the city of Trumann and its residents, and whereas the city council further finds that authorizing the sale of the 3 remaining operational sirens will help offset the city's portion of the project costs. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Trumann, Arkansas, Section 1, the City Council hereby approves the acceptance of the bid submitted by Alertus in the amount of $158,777 for the purchase and installation of 6 tornado warning sirens. Section 2, the City Council acknowledges that $98,425 of the project cost shall be funded through an AEDC grant, with the remaining $60,352 to be paid by the City of Trumann. Section 3, the mayor is hereby authorized to sell the 3 existing operational sirens in a manner deemed to be in the best interest of the city, with proceeds to be applied toward offsetting the city's cost associated with this project. Section 4, the mayor and city clerk are hereby authorized and directed to execute any and all documents, contracts, agreements, and other paperwork necessary to carry out the intent of this resolution and complete the purchase and installation of the tornado warning sirens. Section 5, this resolution shall be in full force and effect immediately upon its adoption.
All right, do I hear a motion to approve?
Before we do that, I think there's an error that needs to be corrected.
What's that?
Where it talks about whereas Alertus submitted the lowest bid, it was the second lowest bid.
The lowest responsible bid.
Okay, sorry, I would have I would have read it the other way, but.
John Paul Thompson made a motion to approve.
Second.
Candida Robinson, second. Any discussion? I think John Paul has a question for
Revis. Are those, because we're getting 6 total brand new, correct?
Yes.
Is that sufficient for the city?
Yes, for now. We need one right in the middle of the city. There used to be one where the water tower is on Oak Street. There actually, if you look on that water tower, there's this big bird nest, like birdhouse looking thing. Used to be a siren back in the 70s probably. Hasn't worked since I've been here. It was attached to the old fire station, that brick building that was there. But yeah, if we were gonna add one, I would say that right dead center of the city would be where you need it. But if you look at the coverage map, and I can send it to the council if you want me to, they sent us a coverage map of what this new system will cover. It covers all that in the green. But
And even further out.
and even, yeah, and so it is covered, but if you look at it, it's kind of, all the sirens are around the outside of the city, and just right dead center of the city by Oak Street, it's kind of like all the sirens are just touching it, if you will. But yeah, I mean, like I said, 80 to 90 decibels all the way to the St. Francis River, past, all the way to the Bay Ditch, 80, 90 decibels. It's pretty significant.
So if we had to add one, that would probably be the place we need to put it in, right?
That's,
Because if we sell
Yeah.
our 3 to the county, we might could recoup enough money to add a 7th one and put it on there if we needed to.
yeah, and then even, I know the city's growing out to the west. We may need to look at going out there, like, we got the one at the splash pads where it's at. That's where it will go. It's actually that pole right by the splash pad. So you got Walmart and most of Steel Creek and stuff covered, but as that expands we expand north from there, we may need to add something. We talked to, the mayor had actually talked about something over by industrial in that area somewhere.
Cause I think you're looking probably about 25,000 a speaker roughly.
I don't think it's
Probably,
quite that much.
it'd be
It's like
close to that
22,000.
without, because this is being put on poles already, and with the electrical infrastructure already there, so there would be an added expense, you know, if you put a brand new one there with no pole, no electrical, but, yeah, that's probably
What I
close.
would recommend or suggest is if we see that we need one there,
Come
we
back
can
and
come
do
back and add it, because it is adequate.
Yes,
all
it's
getting on
expandable.
6, we're able to add on to those, where if we just went with the 3 to replace the 3 that are down, they would work independent of each
I
other.
just wanna make sure everybody's covered and covered. good.
Yes, and
I
this
don't
is-
leave nobody out.
This is way better. In the other system, they spin, and when they spin, you get good sound as you go around. And
These
so
have
that,
20 speakers.
yeah, it,
Each pole has 20 speakers, and those 20 speakers go all different directions.
yeah, it's 360 degrees of sound continuously, so it is a lot better system. Now, is it time tested? I don't know. You know, these sirens that we have out there are 30, 40 years old, and, you know, we have to maintain them. I can't tell you how many times I've been back here on this pole with the ladder truck messing with this one, trying to get it running, but, I mean, we keep it running. It's just a lot. It's a headache. But 7-year warranty, you know, for 7 years, they're gonna take care of it.
And less movable parts is less problems.
That's the only issue I had. I just wanna make sure.
Yeah, no, that's a good question, because
everybody's covered with those
that's where I
six.
see it too. Oak Street right there, and then as the city expands, we need to look
I
at
would,
that.
well, Revis and I even discussed this. I mean, we would, if we thought that there was not covered somewhere, we would have added another one. And again, if we see that it's not loud enough right there at that central area, we can always add one later on.
Okay.
And if we, as we expand, move north, south, east, or west, we can't go east very far, much further, we can always add on to this system, and not very expensive.
And I'll respond to the email that you get with your packet with that diagram, just so the council, so you can see it, and it shows you, it's a pretty good, it's comprehensive, so.
Any other questions, discussion? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed with no. All right, finally, ordinance number 755. Last month, we approved ordinance number 754 to allow ADUs, accessory dwelling units, which was made mandatory by the state legislature. In doing so, we didn't set the fee for the site plans of these ADUs. Ordinance 755 would amend ordinance 744 by establishing site plan review fees for ADUs. Mrs. Toddy, would you read ordinance, please?
An ordinance amending ordinance number 744 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Trumann, Arkansas, to establish a plan review fee for accessory dwelling units, declaring an emergency and for other purposes. Whereas the City of Trumann has previously adopted ordinance number 744 establishing planning and zoning fees, and whereas the City Council finds it necessary to amend said ordinance to include a plan review fee specific to accessory dwelling units, ADUs, to ensure proper review, administration, and enforcement of applicable zoning and building regulations. And whereas the establishment of such a fee is necessary to offset administrative costs and promote orderly development within the city. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Trumann, Arkansas, Section 1 Amendment. Ordinance number 744 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Trumann, or placement of any accessory dwelling unit within the city limits. This fee shall be due at the time of application submission, non-refundable once plan review has commenced, and required prior to the issuance of any applicable permits. Section 2, Purpose. The purpose of this amendment is to ensure that all proposed accessory dwelling units are reviewed for compliance with applicable zoning, building, and safety regulations, and that the city recovers costs associated with such review. Section 3, Severability. Any provision of this ordinance is declared invalid or unconstitutional. Such declaration shall not affect the validity of the remaining provisions. Section 4, Repealer. All ordinances and parts of ordinances in conflict wherewith are hereby repealed to the extent of such conflict. Section 5, Emergency Clause. It is hereby found and determined that the immediate implementation of a plan review fee for accessory dwelling units is necessary to protect the public health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of Trumann by ensuring proper oversight of residential development. Therefore, an emergency is declared to exist, and this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after its passage and approval.
All right, do I hear a motion to approve with the emergency clause? John Paul Thompson made a motion.
Second.
Jason Stewart, second. All right, any discussions?
The 250 will cover throughout the whole process, so if at any point they come in and reject it, then they do have to pay another 250, or is it just flat?
My understanding is it covers through the whole process.
Okay.
If it's rejected and they adjust it and send it back, it's still part of the same process.
It's basically similar to new construction. I mean, because that's essentially what most of these folks are doing. It's a new construction on the same piece of property.
All right, I've got a motion and a second to approve with the emergency clause. Roll call vote, please, Ms. Toddy.
Cindy Wood,
4.
Candida Robinson,
4.
Kara Roach,
4.
Billy Poe, Jason Stewart,
4.
John Paul Thompson,
4.
Ernie Link is absent, Brandon Schrader,
4.
Bonnie Winkles,
4.
Brett Parker,
4. All right, do I hear a motion to suspend the rules and read by title only for second and third reading?
Make a motion.
John Paul Thompson made the motion.
Second.
Jason Stewart, second. I'm sorry. Who was it? Was it Jason?
Chase.
Okay. Any discussions? Ms. Toddy, roll call vote, please.
do I not need to read it?
Well, they're voting on suspending the rules.
Okay. Cindy Wood,
4.
Candida Robinson,
4.
Kara Roach,
4.
Billy Poe,
4.
Jason Stewart,
4.
John Paul Thompson,
4.
Ernie Link is absent, Brandon Schrader,
4.
Bonnie Winkles,
4.
Brett Parker.
All right. Ms. Toddy, please read title only for the second and third reading.
Ordinance number 755, 2026, an ordinance amending ordinance number 744 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Trumann, Arkansas to establish a plan review fee for accessory dwelling units, declaring an emergency and for other purposes. Ordinance number 755, 2026, an ordinance amending ordinance number 744 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Trumann, Arkansas to establish a plan review fee for accessory dwelling units, declaring an emergency and for other purposes.
All right, do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion.
Bonnie Winkles made a motion.
Second.
Is that Brandon? Brandon Schrader, second. Any discussion? And one more time, roll call vote, please, Ms. Toddy.
Cindy Wood,
4.
Candida Robinson,
4.
Kara Roach,
4.
Billy Poe,
4.
Jason Stewart,
4.
John Paul Thompson,
4.
Ernie Link is absent, Brandon Schrader,
4.
Bonnie Winkles,
4.
Brett Parker.
All right, motion passes. And lastly is the mayor's report. In June, we attended the Arkansas Municipal League Summer Conference. We had quite a bit of training and good information to come from the conference. On June the 30th, I held a drainage meeting with the Corps of Engineers, the Drainage District 7, Poinsett County, the Mayor of Bay, our Public Works guys, and several congressional representatives and state legislators, along with numerous farmers. We discussed the drainage in the area and some trouble issues. The Corps is cleaning out ditches 9 and 10, which is the Bay Ditch and the Little Bay Ditch. They've already started at the south end. They're going to go all the way to the county line. Drainage District 7 has accepted bids to clean out 2 ditches to our south, and will soon bid out ditch 14, which is the ditch that runs on the north city limits out to the Bay Ditch. The 9 plus inch rain that we received a few Mondays ago would have flooded the area no matter how clean the ditches were. The water just didn't have anywhere to go coming from that much and that fast. It did, however, make us all think more about drainage. The farmers all agreed that we couldn't have stopped that issue, but it opened their eyes to the ditches needing to be cleaned out to the south of us. All of our water obviously goes to the south. If the ditches to the south are stopped up, it's going to hold water here, or at least slow it down. The water on that Monday, within 12 hours, most of the water was already gone. So but it made us think about that, and we had that meeting. We've discussed the ditches, like I said earlier, we discussed getting those cleaned out. The farmers have even agreed that they would help clean them out. They would help keep them clean if they'll take the trees down. They'll help keep them clean, keep them sprayed, keep the water flowing. Let's see, another meeting will be scheduled soon to discuss further the drainage. And then the tornado sirens bids were open and presented tonight. We hosted the intergovernmental meeting on the 7th. This meeting is required once a year by every county in the state, once that county chooses to meet every quarter. The state used tire issue was discussed by those in attendance. It was led by State Senator Dave Wallace. More discussions on the state level will continue to see what has to be done with the tire situation. Just briefly, the problem we're having right now, there's only one company in the state of Arkansas that takes used tires, and that's Davis Tire out of Little Rock. The way it's written is anybody else can't come in and get the tires on contract. There's a tire company out of Mississippi called Liberty Tire that if they work this out to where they're talking about, Liberty will be able to come in and people can contract with them to pick up those tires. It's a big issue that's been dealt with for a long time across the state, not just here, but it's everywhere. And so they've been dealing with that, and he's updated us on that. We hosted the Red Cross Blood Drive, and it was a success, and we plan to host these blood drives once a quarter if possible. The 4th of July fireworks show was wonderful. We had many compliments and comments about how good it was. Thanks to Cindy Wood for all of her hard work, Callie Winkles, Janice Dotson, and Brandy DeWitt for their legwork at the event. Also, we are very appreciative of all of the sponsors that helped fund this. And then on the Clearwater tank, I didn't have it on my notes here because I got the message right before the council meeting. We've been waiting on EDA to approve the bids and the contracts, which we've already signed and everything, but it had to go down there for them to approve all of it. EDA has been dealing with the turnover and lack of people working, and it kind of put them behind. And so they got a new guy, and he started, a new engineer for us, and he started going through everything. He was nitpicking this and that. He didn't know what had already been approved and what hadn't been approved. And as of this afternoon, late this afternoon, we've been approved with a notice to proceed construction. So on the 20th, which is Monday, I think, we will have a pre-construction meeting. And once we have that pre-construction meeting, then we should start seeing dirt being turned very quickly. So we'll get that going. And that's all I have. Do we have any open public comments?
My name is Wayne Schmidt. I live at 601 Honeysuckle, which is Ward 2. And I represent Citizens for a Clean Trumann. I want to tell y'all, I went to a visitation at Thompson Funeral Home in mid-June. I walked up to a group of people. They were talking about how they hadn't been to Trumann in a long, long time, and they had some extra time that afternoon to drive around, and they were not happy with what they saw. Citizens for a Clean Trumann submitted a list of 72 structures for condemnation over 3 years and 6 months ago, plus an additional 8 structures were added on January the 19th of this year to bring our total to 80. Help us understand why you think not cleaning up Trumann is a good idea. Public safety for our police officers and our firefighters should be everyone's goal. Why hasn't our mayor addressed our code enforcement situation in the past 3 years and 6 months? We are not asking for code enforcement to break the law. We are asking for code enforcement to enforce the law. Folks, we're a city of the first class. We're supposed to obey the rules of a city of the first class, okay? This is not rocket science. It's printed on paper, okay? Citizens for a Clean Trumann has asked the mayor to add all remaining structures submitted over 3 years ago to the city council agenda for discussion each month until resolved, but he refuses to do so. Let me say that again. He has been asked to submit these structures for discussion and possible condemnation, but he refuses to do so. It is obvious our mayor is not serious about cleaning up the city since only 6 structures were submitted for condemnation in 2024. Now, this is 6 out of 117 which remained at that time. The last mayor who failed to clean up Trumann only received 16% of the vote when running for re-election. Let me say that again. The last mayor who failed to clean up Trumann when running for re-election only received 16% of the vote. Once again, no structures were submitted tonight, which proves our point. Let me say that again. Once again, no structures were submitted tonight,
Your time
which
is up.
proves our point.
Your 3 minutes are up.
Well, I bet you're happy too.
Hear a motion to adjourn.
We got one more. Mr. Franklin Lair.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Larry. I didn't see him over there, I'm sorry.
Well, down here, because you put condemnation on 528 Edgerton, y'all voted to condemn it with bringing it up. Well, Schrader, he's looked at it, I've painted it. I think I brought it up to where it looks as good as anybody's property. So I would like to have it brought off of condemnation so I can finish working on the inside. Now, that being said, at the other meeting on 616 Pascal, there was some discussion after I left wherein I was told that I could bring that structure up. And I left, and Gary and Henry refused to give me any permits. That next day, I called an electrician out of Jonesboro, licensed and bonded, to put a new service panel on 616 Pascal. And my electrician called Gary Henry, and he denied my electrician a permit to put a new service panel on 616. Now, and I believe it was said by some of the councils that that was wrong. And, so I'm just wanting to know where the problem's laying, that I can't get permits to bring that structure up to where code is on account of Gary Henry.
Is that all you have, Mr. Larry?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion.
John Paul Thompson making a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Dexter Stewart, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, can stick around.